Good morning. Join me this morning on the banks of local River Ouse. Today I'm fishing in an area which is commonly known as the Wissey Mouth. Plainly because the River Wissey itself runs into the River Ouse about 8 pegs to my left. Easy access, park the car directly behind your peg, unload, straight down on the bank. It's a very popular area. It's an area where you can sometimes get some decent bream, the odd tench, skimmers, roach. Hard to say what's going to happen today because it's the middle of October and it's very, very mild. The forecasting temperature is around about 20-24 degrees, but there is a bit of a breeze, nice ripple on the water, even though the clarity is very, very clear. So we'll have a go. That being said, I've tailored my approach just with 2 feeder rods, ground bait, chopped worm, some corn, hopefully see what's around. Like I say, I've tailored the approach, 2 tip rods. Now these are something different for me. I've set up a 13 foot and I've also set up a 12 foot. And these rods themselves are actually from a brand called Cadence. They're new to the market in England this year. Brand manager Jamie Robbins, I've known for a few years, and I actually met up with him a few weeks ago and went through the range. And I had a look at 1 or 2, and like I say, I've got a couple of rods here which are, sort of took me fancy for the style of fishing which I do and which I progress to do hopefully into next season as well. So that being said, this rod here is a 13 foot number 3 feeder. It's the heaviest 13 foot feeder rod in the range that they do, and it's got a casting weight of up to 120 grams. So that's 4 ounce. It comes with 3 tips, 2 ounce, a 3 ounce and a 4 ounce. I'm actually fishing the 2 ounce tip today. It's a very soft progressive action through the tip section, which then powers up down through the middle. As you can see there, we've got quite big guides, but it is very, very soft action. But it's got a lot of power through the middle section for punching out the bigger feeders should that be required. Here today, it's not needed. I'm fishing an ounce feeder, which I'm fishing out at 40 metres. The other new item of tackle, again, it's from the Cadence range, is a CS10 reel in a 4000 size. This is a magnesium body with carbon gearing, all in all making it a very, very light reel, which is perfect because the rods are very light with a 36 and 40 ton blank, so the reel itself is not overbalancing the rod. Something that you can get with different reels round and about. So to actually find that steady balance, this reel, for me, just looking at this now, is perfect. I've got this on with 5 pound mainline, but I've also got a 6 pound shock leader. This is something I've started doing this season from when I've been on the River Yare. Cracked off a few times, and talking to a couple of people, they're actually using a shock leader. So I tried it, and it definitely helped when punching out the heavier feeders. So I've got a shock leader on here, which is 6 pound joined down into the 5 pound mainline. I've got a simple running feeder on a 2-inch link. I've got about a 2.5, 3-inch twizzled loop and a quick change connector, and 013 hook length down to a 16 SW matrix feeder hook. That, like I say, I'm fishing out at about 40 metres, and I'm going to be predominantly fishing with worm. The second rod I've got, which I'm trying, is a Cadence 12 foot number 2 feeder. This is very light rod. Again, I've married it up with a CS10 reel. Very light rod, very soft action, but again, very progressive through the tip section, and a lot of strength through the middle. for the deep water up here, we're punching out sometimes 1 ounce, 2 ounce feeders. This is perfect. This has got a 2 ounce casting weight. I've got 4 pound main line, again with a 6 pound shock leader. I'm fishing that round about 34-35 metres, so a little bit shorter than the 13-foot rod. So those are the two setups, like I say, from the Cadence range. You can check them out online, which is www.cadencefishing.co.uk. They're match rods, feeder rods, 2 lots of reels. Contact James, he can tell you all about them. I think they're going to break into the market and they're going to be a success. Right, back to the job at hand. On the ground bait front, I've got Bait Tech Omen with half a bag of Cult Sweet fish meal, and I've also added, in addition to that, Mr. Farmer, addition to that of some brown crumb. I've got the old faithful chopped worm with some casters. I've got some natural sweet corn, and I've also got 2 lots of sweet corn, which those you know I've been using some flavouring of late. So I've got some Brazil flavoured corn, and I've also got some Scopex flavoured corn. Simply do that, tip the corn into a tub, add some Scopex, braise them, a little bit of water, swirl them round, water soluble, so you can't overdo it. It just gives you that extra addition on the hook bait front should the fish get a little bit wary. Got some worms, other vital piece of equipment, the flask, and some paracetamol, because as you can tell I have actually got the phenomenon known as man flu, so hopefully being out in the fresh air will do me the power of good today. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with a longer rod. I've put in 5 feeder fulls, bit bigger size feeder, some chopped worm with some caster, and I'll put that out before I put the hook length on. So hopefully now we'll go out there. I'm going to start by fishing half a dendrobina on the hook, and we'll see what's out there. So rod in hand, let's give it a go. Checking a bit later, hopefully we might be catching 1 or 2 fish. If you're out on the bank today, hopefully you'll have a great day. I'm now going to put these new bits of equipment through the paces, and hopefully christen them with 1 or 2 fish. Catch you later. Well, we've had a few fish on the longer rod, on the worm, some perch and some roach, a couple of skimmers. I kept sort of missing bites, put a bit of corn on, and I had a roach. So I've just come on the other line, which is a few metres short from where I'm fishing, and actually just dropped in on that lighter rig, lighter line, smaller hook, with a piece of corn. I've had a couple of roach already. Yeah, not big fish, you know, sort of around about 5-6 ounces at the biggest, but nice fish to catch nonetheless. The rods are doing everything that I'd hope they'd do. Very, very impressed. The action, even on the heavier rod, the action is nice and soft. Cast out there, easy as pie. In with the crosswind. Nail it on the same spot every time. Reels nice and smooth. This 12-foot rod, very, very, very impressed with it. Nice and light. Lovely action. I said they're doing everything that I'd hope they do, so pretty good investment, I think. So I haven't really put much feed in on this line. I have dropped when I've been fishing on the long rod, sort of dropped it a little bit shorter a couple of times, just to keep a little bit of bait in there. Say if need be, I can just take the couple of 3 turns off the line clip on this rod and they hit the same spot. Yeoman ground bait. Been putting it in a smaller tub next to me and my main bowl. So it's mixed quite dry, but you can form a ball with it and it breaks right down. There's a bite there. Always happens when you're doing something. So it's mixed quite dry, very fine. Riddled off, mixed up with a drill the night before. Beautiful roach. They're absolute lovely fish. Proper nailed it. Here we go.